Travis Kelce and his teammates head into practice to prepare for the Chiefs game against Cincinnati after returning from New York. On Friday, September 13th, Travis Kelce and his teammates on the Chiefs are hard at work preparing for their second straight big game to kick off the 2024-25 NFL season. Travis Kelce, who recently returned from a reunion with girlfriend Taylor Swift in New York City, will now join his teammates in preparing for their game against Cincinnati on September 16th, with every penalty that was called last week against the Baltimore Ravens. Some fans of other NFL teams were getting more angry, saying the Chiefs get special treatment from the game officials. The complaints continued throughout the Chiefs' 27-20 win in the NFL kickoff game at Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium. And afterward, on the latest episode of the New Heights podcast, the Kelce brothers talked about the illegal formation penalties called against the Ravens. "I think that it just opened up more criticism of the Chiefs getting favorable calls from the officials," Jason Kelce said. He then poked fun at brother Travis, the Chiefs tight end, by asking, "Do you have anything to say to that? I mean, you won a Super Bowl on it." That was a clear reference to Super Bowl 57, which the Chiefs won over the Eagles and Jason Kelce. That included a late penalty on Philly. "Yeah, I mean, keep 'em coming, refs," Travis Kelce quipped. "That's why we mess with you guys right now, man. You guys are making sure that." Kelce didn't finish the thought, but he added that the idea of the Chiefs getting more calls is ludicrous. "I just don't get it," Travis Kelce said. "I think if you look at the actual penalties that are being called, we have literally been, what is it, the point of emphasis." The Kelces then mentioned how Chiefs tackle Jawaan Taylor seemed to be flagged frequently during the 2023 season. "The reason they're calling this is because of Jawaan Taylor this year and guys that were doing this a lot last year," Jason Kelce said. "Just the reality of it, like Jawaan was like, he got called for it a lot last year." Jason Kelce added that it's tough for officials on the sideline to tell when a player on either side of the ball moves slightly early. Questioning officials started once challenging became a thing, and now it's like, officials have this expectation to get calls right 100% of the time, he said. Then it got taken to another level with the legalization of gambling. "It is toxic to the point of people being upset. The Ravens had plenty of opportunities to win the game. And the reality is the penalty differential of yardage was like 10 yards over the whole game, like you guys had 47 yards of penalties. They had like 60-something. Yeah, you had a holding penalty. It was 6 penalties, 4, you guys, 7 for the Ravens. The officials did not make the difference in that game. The Ravens had multiple chances at the end of it to win the game." Yep, Travis Kelce was called for holding in last week's game. Baltimore was penalized 7 times for 64 yards, while the Chiefs had 45 penalty yards on 6 flags. This is an interesting look at the penalties that have been called since quarterback Patrick Mahomes became the Chiefs starter. Even when Mixon was on the roster, Cincinnati's bread and butter was to throw the football. Under head coach Zach Taylor, the Bengals posted the NFL's third highest pass rate, 67%, in 2023 and went to the shotgun formation nearly 2/3 of the time, second in football, according to Fellow. As far as personnel is concerned, they go to 11, 1 running back, 1 tight end, for 70% of first downs and love spreading the field out with sets containing 3 wide receivers. Last year's Cincinnati offense was tough to break down. Quarterback Joe Burrow started the season working his way back from an injury, then he got hurt again, but things didn't get worse with Jake Browning under center. Despite sticking with 11 personnel at a 75% clip and posting the 4th highest EPA per play there, 0.10, per Arjun Menins the scout, the Bengals' explosive play rate out of 11 personnel ranked 22nd. The same metric versus nickel defenses ranked 24th. Add in an NFL worst average depth of target, and it's easy to see that a once dangerous offense struggled to break off chunk plays. With Burrow back, expect lots of damage outside the numbers. Per NFL Savant, Cincinnati's route distribution for 2023-24 passing plays featured flats, hitches, outs, screens and go routes between 10 to 18% of the time. Tyler Boyd's ability to threaten over the middle of the field is no longer there. With Ja'Marr Chase still working to full capacity and T. Higgins nursing a hamstring injury that could hold him out, the Bengals offense faces serious questions. That's without even mentioning the halfback duo or the offensive line. If you're looking for a scheme-related battle, think about cover 2 for both sides. Last year, Burrow averaged 0.50 EPA/play against those shells with a staggering 17.8 completion percentage over expected NFL quarterback and defensive coverage efficiency app. The Chiefs' defense, on the other hand, surrendered negative EPA/play on 96 attempts in 2023-24. Simply put, this isn't the same daunting Lou Anarumo defense the Chiefs dealt with in the 2021 and 2022 seasons. Last year's Cincinnati unit ranked 27th in EPA/play allowed per Sumer Sports, also slotting in dead last in explosive play rate. They matched 12 personnel with nickel 73% of the time and matched 13 personnel with base to the tune of 92%. Let's expand on that latter part. The Bengals' run defense was extremely poor a season ago, ranking 31st with a near 13% explosive rush rate allowed. Their base defense averaged a league-worst 0.16 EPA/play on the year. All the team has done since then is swap Reader for Rankins, trading run defense for pass rushing ability, and give up 120 yards to the New England Patriots' Ramondre Stevenson in Week 1. If the Chiefs are smart, they might remind Isaiah Pacheco of the 130 yards he totaled versus Cincinnati in last year's Week 17 meeting. Kansas City's usage of heavy personnel also plays to their favor this time. The other schematic matchup to account for is cover 3. Patrick Mahomes averaged 0.12 EPA/play against it last season, with Cincinnati surrendering 0.20 EPA/play with a 71.6 completion percentage on such looks. The Bengals figure to be more proficient with Bell and Stone patrolling the secondary, and there's talent elsewhere. With that said, this seems to have the feel of a potentially respectable unit rather than a return to greatness. Gesicki thought he scored a touchdown in Week 1, but it ultimately got reversed as replay showed him bobbling the football a bit upon hitting the ground. He had a very underwhelming stat line in Week 1, 3 receptions for 18 yards, so Cincinnati will likely look to get him more involved if Higgins misses another game. Last year, the Chiefs surrendered the 5th least fantasy points to tight ends. On the other side of the ball, Hendrickson is the Bengals' best pass rusher and has plenty of experience teeing off against Kansas City. He's the top priority to stop. Kansas City, LT Kingsley Suamataia, CB Jalen Watson. For the second week in a row, Suamataia is a player to watch in this preview. The rookie left tackle had a mixed bag of production in Week 1, and things won't get much easier this weekend. His performance in both the run and pass games will help swing Sunday's contest in either direction. On defense, Watson returned to form in the season opener and might benefit from Higgins being out this week. If that's the case, his assignment suddenly drops to a combination of Andre Iosivas and perhaps Charlie Jones or Trenton Irwin. After a crazy upset loss to the Patriots, I fully expect the Bengals to come back and look better in Week 2. The storyline surrounding Burrow's health, or lack thereof, seems to be overblown, and even the current Cincinnati offense is better than it showed in Week 1. On the other hand, this defense has weaknesses that are very much exploitable with the right plan. I anticipate Mahomes turning in an efficient performance, Pacheco looking like his 2023 self, and this game being another borderline classic between two talented clubs. In the end, though, the Chiefs have a lot less to figure out than the road team.